It's Mr. Brent Houchens. I am in the think tank. What is today? I didn't set the date and time correctly on this phone because it does not have the SIM card in it. But today is January, February, March 2nd. It's somewhere around 9 o'clock approximately. It makes no difference. It's 2018, and I am drinking hot tea. I wanted to briefly explain, what I went through today, and what I did was I talked to an attorney, and after talking to an attorney, you can legitimize your business very easily. If you say it's a business and you start as a sole proprietor, you're in business. So if you have a lawnmower and you say you're starting a lawn care service, you are in business. If you generate, I think it's over $500 worth of taxes, you have to start claiming it. If you end up cutting somebody's kid's toy up, they could sue you as an individual, and you could lose things, and that's the difference. And that's, I kind of already knew this stuff, but wanted to make sure that people understood this. If you want to start a production crew, which I have done, all you need is a device and an account, and you're a production crew with media. So if you want to create a production media, you can do so. So when you start to generate revenue, you need to really learn how to protect yourself, and that's where attorneys come in. And attorneys are great. A lot of people are negative about, attorneys are bloodsuckers, and I love attorneys. Attorneys have kind of always been there for me throughout my life for other purposes, and it's great to get involved with. I found a great attorney who believes in me, and I believe in him. And I want to. I'm not going to make him too much money. But I want him to have money, and I want to promote attorneys and attorney businesses because it's good for our economy. Again, in a free market economy, competition is always best. Businesses generate revenue, they create jobs, and it creates better service and competition. If there was only one attorney in town, there'd be a huge conflict of interest. So it's great if you want to become an attorney and start your own firm. Get in touch with me at Smoker Joe Productions. If you're that smart and you got that much money, you probably don't need my help. But I would definitely be willing to work and collaborate with anybody. So basically, as starting this out, I want to be very transparent about what it takes to start a business. And you can see me go through that from all the way from the bottom as I explained. So on February 28th, 2018, I sat in here, made a video, and I made a documentation and posted that. So whether they posted correctly or not, it's still in question, but I documented it. And I went through and I spoke to an attorney about hiring him to create a tax ID, and I got a quote, and we handshake, the gentleman's agreement. And at this point, until I pay him in full for that complete retainer to go through with his services, he is not officially my attorney, but that's my attorney. That's my attorney of choice. Find one. If you're going to start a business, find one that's good, a good attorney who will give you a consultation, who you can trust. Who can give you something that you can afford and will give you honest truth, and be truthful with your attorney. You can lie to everybody else. Don't lie to your attorney. It's never been. I learned that from day one. You can lie to anybody else about something, even a criminal attorney. You lie to everybody else. Don't lie to your attorney. So whether you believe that or not, I didn't lie to him, and he didn't lie to me, and it's great. So it doesn't cost very much, and I won't go into detail about attorney costs because it will vary from person to person and attorney to attorney and case to case, and what type of business you need and what type of coverage you need and what you need. But after talking to him, he gave me some great advice, explained some liabilities to me, and he suggested that immediately that I transition and make the transition. I could still continue to operate, but advised me and warned me of the risk that I can still operate as a business, a full functioning business, but to make sure that we transition over to an LLC. And then as far as the name goes, when you transition it to an LLC, you have to go a little bit different with the name, but you can add a 123 or a 456 or a 502 or an 812 or whatever you want to add to it. You may have to change and alter it slightly if no one else has that right there, or it becomes an issue at a point. They contact an attorney, and you work together with it, and it's resolved with a couple entry keys. Name doesn't really matter. Mine is Smoker Joe Productions. If somebody were to dispute that or claim, I'd change it to something else. Makes no difference. But what your name is not important. It's the fact that if you practice good business ethics during the sole propriety period, you can create I'm telling you, you can create a production crew with just your cell phone and an account on social media. There are people that are better than me at social media. They're more versed on it, and they don't have the same sort of need to protect as much as I do. I have to have protection for my social media, and in order to have my protection with social media due to the circumstances that I'm in currently and that I have been just here recently, there's an interest for me to have a different type of protection due to my experience, and I won't go into this because it's not relevant right now. Because right now it's about startup costs and what it takes to start a business. And I want people to start businesses. I don't care what your business is. You want to start a production crew? You want to start one right next door to me? You want to follow me all around town? You want to do the same take and I'll do the same take behind you? I don't care. I want competition. I want competition in a free market economy. I want collaboration. You don't always have to clash with people. Just because you are in the same market and doing the same thing and covering the same story. You see news crews. It's the best part. Sometimes one will make the scene, sometimes one won't. But they do work together on big cases. When I went to the Muhammad Ali, when he passed away, and I went to the coverage of his funeral, there was everybody there, and they were right next to each other. So cooperation is key too in practicing good business ethics with your neighbor in the market. And if you're the only house in the street, you're on the corner and you've cornered the market. And I believe there's kind of a little bit of a monopoly. It's not completely cornered, but there's a little bit of monopoly in this particular area. So that's why I chose this particular business endeavor. If there wasn't a Walmart in 100 miles, it'd be a good idea to open a Walmart. There is not too many production crews here, and I don't think there's any except for one I'm not sorry, not production crews, but there's only a couple that are working with a major cable network, to my knowledge. There are some independent films, and there are some other things that you can argue, but I don't know of many. So what I would like to do is get up to that benchmark and set the goal, and that's the standard. If that's the standard, I'm going to aim high, and I may be able to achieve at least somewhere on the board. I'll show up, and I wanted to encourage and inspire other people to do so. I'm not trying to do this solely myself or in secrecy or try to make millions of dollars out of it. I want to encourage people. You can start from rock bottom. I'm not saying you're going to make it, but I'm not saying you're not either. Lots of people make it. There are kids that got famous on YouTube. There's a cat that played the keyboard. There's people who started different things and got endorsements. There's agents you can go to. You can create what I'm doing at this point. I'm not going too far into. I'm not trying to generate any revenue at all. Right now is a building period and a documentation period. And what I'm going to do initially, this is the first plan is, as I'm doing this, I'm going to document this and share this with the public as well. What it takes for them to do. To start a business, what it takes to start a business, live the American dream as an entrepreneur, and take the risk. And you'll see the risk factors develop as we go. And right now, I went and I ate lunch at the community kitchen. I got less than $20 in my pocket that I borrowed from a family member who was willing to invest in me. I borrowed the money for the phone to actually pay a bill, and I paid a portion on the bill, and that's how I got the phone. So I'm rock bottom broke. I got 2 jobs, I believe, one for sure, and another one real good. So I have 2 jobs in a production crew. So progress will at this point slow down, but it will open opportunities for me to network with people and give me time to build finances and to build capital, because you got to have capital. What is capital? Capital is what you're going to start with. You don't need anything to start other than a cell phone device or even a laptop computer and a webcam. A lot of people got started with just that. So if you have a smartphone and you have internet access, you can start a production crew. You can't start a convenience store, but what is capital? Capital was my cell phone and my account and my desire to do so. And that's what you need. You need capital. So what all was it? Is capital? Capital is everything. Everything your business consists of. Your equipment, your infrastructure. So I'm looking at securing things because there's a lot of interest about security and hacking, and I've had some issues. I've had to fill out police reports about hacking just the other day about this production crew, Smoker Joe production crew. The day after I started it, I had some issues, and I printed out some evidence today on the computer, and I got some issues already. So very important that you have security, especially when you're dealing with data, and I'm dealing with data. So what I did was I went out and I got this is a personal phone, but it's a personal / business account. You can mix the two, but there's some things that you got to watch doing that. It's when you start generating a lot of money, and you can't write that off on your taxes. So find an attorney, create a business identity and a tax ID. You have to have this LLC to create a tax ID, and what that's going to do, that's going to allow you to write off things for your business. If I go spend $1,000 on equipment, I can write that off on that business as a tax write-off at the end of the year. That's what that tax ID is. It also allows me to buy things, if I were going to buy things wholesale, you got to have that tax ID in that business entity, the business number and that tax ID, or they won't, like a wholesaler won't deal with you direct. So those are things like if you wanted to start a grocery store, you need to have this, and it costs a little bit of money, varies from attorney to attorney. Find you one. Find you a business attorney and discuss the matters with them. If they won't discuss it with you, try to get more prepared and versed. Go to the library. Try to research online, and then try another attorney. Don't haggle or harass the same person, and don't let one person tell you no. If 10 people tell you no, find 11. If 11 people tell you no, go to a different town. And start asking them. And you should be able to, big people start businesses everywhere. If they continue to tell you no, ask a business owner you trust and go to their attorney. And that's the best way to do it. And if you're, if you know someone who owns a business and you're good with them, try to express yourself and make sure you have something to present, because people will not invest in you if they don't believe in you. So if you go there and you're drunk, or you go there and you're high, or you go there and you're trying to fuck somebody to get some information, probably not going to go over so well for you. But if you go there and you're articulate, you don't have to be intelligent. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be well spoken. You can be shy. You can be as ugly as me. You can be it doesn't matter. White, black, it makes no difference. You can go to a person and you can try to ask a few questions, but try to go with your best. Bring someone your best because you want them to invest. Bring your best. You want them to invest. So make it where somebody can believe in you. And that you're not just wasting their time, because if you're going to approach something about business and they're a business person, time is money in business. So be real respectful of their time, and the fact that they may be very defensive and protective of their own interests. But to do so, I'm starting a business phone account, and T-Mobile has a great deal right now. They will protect up to 5 devices for $12, up to $1 million for a business. That's a great deal. So if somebody hacks your phone and steals your files, they will hunt them down and find out who it is. They have a liability for $12 if you use McAfee. And if somebody hacks your stuff and starts extracting files, or somebody starts manipulating your accounts, you're protected under business. Now, here's the thing. With T-Mobile, all you need is a business card or a tax ID. So business card if you're going to be a sole proprietor. If you're going to go LLC, get that tax ID. That create that entity and that tax ID, and then talk to an attorney. That's the only thing you got to do, is get that attorney covered. And you can start a business without it. So if you got nothing to lose, you can do that too. Print you out a business card. You need $100. Print out a box of business cards. That's all it takes for T-Mobile. T-Mobile's got a great deal. I went to T-Mobile on 4th Street in Louisville, Kentucky. Great guy there. I don't have his card with me, but I do have it. I do have it in my bag, and I will make sure that I mention him later. But they get commission there. So hold on one second, because good business is this. All right, I'm back. It's T-Mobile. It was Devontae Taylor. Great guy. Devontae Taylor, T-Mobile, 4th Street. Here's the store location number. Big up to T-Mobile. So this is where creating businesses already can generate revenue for another business. It's good for our economy. Devontae Taylor, he was a retail store associate. He makes commission. It's good for his money. His money goes back into your store or other stores. He pays taxes from his job. He pays sales tax. It generates revenue for everybody in a free market economy. Business is good. Starting a business. Anybody who tries to stop you from starting a business is not promoting the American way and the American dream in a free market economy. That's what makes us the greatest country in the entire world, is democracy and free market economy, that competition. And cooperation with business to another, and promotion. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say it, because that's where you can come into risk and liability. And I'm not making money off of T-Mobile and putting this out. But if I were going to cross promote them would be key. I would probably have to go to them and ask permission. But T-Mobile has a great deal. I think it was $155. You can get 4 lines and 4 devices, and that's dirt cheap. And for $12, I think it's $155 a month. 4 lines, 4 devices, and $12 a month will cover you up to $5 or 5 devices. You go, you register your account, you register your devices, up to $1 million. So all of your data is protected. It's protected under law. It's protected under business law. It's protected with insurance. $12. So about $150 for a business phone. You're gonna need about $150 a month. I pay $45 right now, and that's some of that was on loan to me. But it doesn't take much to go a little further. That's 4 different lines. That's one I don't want to mess with. That's one I can spend people. That's one I can use for this. That's one, if I work with someone else, give them a phone for the day. That way they don't have to use their phone. If I'm working with someone who has nothing, but they're willing, but they have their story. I talked to couple people today, and I got a couple, handshake gentleman deals. Some of them were business people who offered me future endeavors. I got an appointment with a couple different people, and I talked to a person who has a great story. And, I want that person, if I was going to make something and it was going to make money, if cross promotion, the only thing I can do to help cross promote is try to work out a gentleman's agreement. But if it goes beyond promotion and I start to generate revenue, I want that person to make money too. And I want to be able to make money, but if I'm making money, I want another person to make money. And that's how I'm going to try to run this from the very beginning. It may not work that way entirely because everybody who views is not going to be able to make money. But if a person's getting involved, without their story and their cooperation, I don't have a production. I have to go with just me, and people are going to get real tired of hearing me real quick. And plus, this is a great story to cover. So maybe a promotion, or to start a fund, or you can go for not for profit, or you got to watch these different things, and that's where attorneys come in. So find yourself a good attorney, and once you establish that, don't be scared to invest in an attorney. If you have to spend $500 or $1,000 or $3,000, that's nothing compared to what it's going to return. It's an investment. So you can't be scared to invest, and you can start with nothing. So don't let numbers scare you. And about $155 a month is what you're going to need for 4 business lines. And that's with unlimited data and insurance up to $1 million for your business. You need to register these as business phones. And you're not supposed to use business phones for personal use, and you're not supposed to use personal phones for business use, but I think you can... Wait a minute. I think you can use your business phone for personal use, but you cannot use your personal phone for business use. That's how it works. So be real careful about that. A lot of people cheat, but we're not going to cheat on this. We're going to do everything legitimate. So T-Mobile's got a great one. Another thing, Spectrum. I had an encounter with Spectrum. Spectrum they have a deal right now. I talked to a girl at I forgot what her name is. She sent me a text message. I talked to, there were some girls in the store, and I talked to them, and Spectrum right now for $45, You can get internet for a month, unlimited, whatever, and they give you, I think, $50. You get internet and Wi-Fi. You can get an Ethernet connection. That's what I'm going with. With data files and a production crew, it's very critical that I'm able to protect my files with hacking and with competition with law enforcement and with the particular situation that I have right now. Once I'm able to get a little bit of insurance and get some things for $12, and once I'm going to switch carriers, and once I'm able to start that business phone, all I need is a business card. And I'm in the promotion stage right now. So all I'm doing is promoting. And I'm promoting by educating and sharing my experience with people by making sure that you have an opportunity to understand that anybody can do this. That's how these people got started. 5 or 6 guys, a couple grand worth of equipment. You don't have to have that much. They got a couple ideas. Maybe might even burnt a few, might not smoke at all, might have had a few drinks, might have been a bunch of college kids, might have been a bunch of people that were, hey, why don't we go move somewhere else and start our own production crew? Maybe being out west, there's all kinds of production crews. Maybe they were just the road, so they moved somewhere there's not enough here. So, and we're not connected enough with big industry. So this is a target area. This is a good area. So get involved. And, get involved with whatever you want to do. If you want to start a lawn care, start a lawn care. You want to start a bricklaying company or roofing company, legitimize it. Make sure that, you have coverage and insurance. And this insurance only costs me $12 a month. So, but Spectrum is another thing I can do securely. I will not be using Wi-Fi. I talked to Dell. I haven't made a decision. I don't think I'm going to go with Spectrum. For $45, it leaves me with no device. I still have to work with this device, or I have to pay $155, and for $12, I'm going to have 4 phones and all the protection I need from hacking. And if I ask for sure, if I get hacked, they will hunt them down for me. They will resolve the issue, and they will make sure that they'll take legal recourse up to $1 million. So they're not playing about that. T-Mobile's big. I love Metro PCS, but they run off T-Mobile crap, I think, anyway. So, but when you go with a little bit bigger and you start a business phone and you start to get an account, you're not gonna have prepaid, but you're gonna get a bill, and it's worth the transition. From my experience, and I haven't had firsthand experience. My experience so far in sort of investigating this, and create a desktop. Laptops off the shelf. Everything's got Wi-Fi right now, and everything's got Bluetooth. I'm choosing not to go with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. I don't want Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. I don't want to be hacked. So what I'm going to do, I'm going secure. If it plugs in the wall, that's all the connection it has. So I called Dell. Dell is great for that. I built a computer before to make movies, and I called them. I told them what I needed. I got a little bit of experience with it, not much, but I took a little bit of it in school, so I know how to build from a motherboard up. I know that I need high RAM, high memory. I need a good video card. I need a couple different types of burners, and I don't want Wi-Fi and I don't want Bluetooth capability. So they will build what you need. And the best part about Dell is you tell them what you need and they build the computer for you. There are all kinds of small computer places like that will do that for you around here. And you might be able to pick up a used one cheaper at a local store and be able to help a local business person starting out just like you, or not far from just starting out. So don't be scared to go to a local person and tell them, look, I want a computer. I just need the tower. I'm doing a desktop, not a laptop. You can get whatever fits your needs. Good luck finding a laptop that doesn't have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth at this point. And if you're not worried about that, that's fine. It depends on what type of business you're starting. I'm keeping mine very secure. And security is key. So I'm not going to create that risk, and I'm going to let the people at Dell know, or the people that I choose. I might choose a local person to build one for me. I might order the parts from newegg.com. That's another great, cheap place to buy electronics. It's newegg.com, newegg.com. If you know the components you need and you know how to build it from a motherboard up, do it. You get you a tower, figure out, you can buy another computer and you just start your RAM. You got to make sure you got the right pins and you're buying the right stuff. You can install bigger RAM. Very cheap, $12. You insert the cards, plug and play for the most part. So, new SATA drive, like a hard drive, there's different things you can do. I think there's ATA and SATA or whatever. Either way, you just look into it. A lot of the stuff's plug and play if you know what you're doing. If not, go to a local business and build yourself a computer. The best part about Dell and these other computer shops, they'll build exactly what you need. I don't need a whole lot of things. I need certain things. I need something with a good processor that can run 3 or 4 different things. That I can watch video, I can record. I need enough RAM to do so, and I need a good strong video card so I can watch and edit video on a screen. I can run two screens, and I can burn over here, and I can run 2 different things and merge things. So for a production crew, that are for a production business, that's what I'm going with. And building it from the motherboard up keeps me from getting things that I don't need. I don't need Wi-Fi. I don't need to pay for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth as an accessory because I don't need it. It's like having a sunroof or a convertible. You don't need a convertible on a work truck. There's an example. Or you don't need leather seats in a work truck. So building your computer, Dell offers that specific thing in the market. They will build a computer specific to your needs. There are also other places around here, and I'll keep you informed about that as we go forward. So from that point, your startup cost. Another thing you're going to need that I'm going for, I need some memory. So I was looking at cost in comparison to what it's going to cost to get a tower and then a hard drive to take with me, because video, you want to go with high definition video. You definitely want to go with high definition. So if you got a phone that does HD and high definition, don't change the resolution. It will save you memory, but it will cost you in the long run. If you want high quality production, you're not going to be able to do it later. And don't keep buying little small SD cards, 8 gigs, and I got 32 gig. I'm done with it. I mean, it doesn't do much. It gets you something where you can manage on your computer. You can WinZip and compress those files. You can compress them and unzip them. Get you a hard drive that goes on it. There's some portable ones. I've seen at Walmart. They were really cheap. I think $50 for a terabyte. And I think it was $120 for 4 terabytes. And somewhere about the size of a cell phone. So those are really good on the go. Once I get the business phone and I get a tower that built to my specific needs with however many terabytes, I'm going to get a big memory. That's another thing. I'm going to get the biggest memory I can get, and afford to get. So having that, because if you're dealing with a lot of video, you're going to be dealing with a lot of data, and you're not going to lose your video. Even if you edit it, you might want to do blooper. You never know what you want to do. So as you collect video, I can tell at this point, just by doing it just briefly, it's something you don't want to lose if you're going into production. I don't care what you're going. If you're going into photography, you might know for sure a thumb over your picture, but once you produce something, you don't want to lose it. So that's key, and you want to keep it good and secure. Go through and come up. There's another start a business account. Look into opening a bank account for your business. Do not don't get a prepaid card. Don't try to do it by cash. Don't try to just deal with it in electronic transactions. I went to a bank today, and at this point, I don't have it here with me, and I won't go too far into all of it. I went to a bank to set up a business account, and that's where I'm gonna go. I think it was First Bank. First Bank was my first choice. So they've been very cooperative with me. So in order to protect that account and that LLC and bring that paperwork back, we'll work from there. Doesn't cost much. I think you got to keep $500 minimum in it. So at this point, I'm building capital. I needed nothing to start with. My business is legitimized. I'm a sole proprietor. I don't need much more. I need to finish off paying the attorney fees and get that tax ID in that business entity so I can start writing all of my purchases off. Right now, I have to worry about primal needs. Like, there's hardly any food in this house. There's like $10 worth of food. And I've got enough to eat. I'm not going to starve to death, but and I'm not a big cooker, so I don't keep a lot of food. It's just me here. I got more dog food than I have human food, and I'm able to go throughout the community and benefit from what Clark County and Jefferson County over here in Jeffersonville and over there in Jefferson County and Louisville. I know the places to go and eat if I need to eat, and I'm not ashamed to. So don't be afraid to cut corners. You might not be starting from the bottom as far as I am, but you will have to make sacrifices to build your capital. It's going to take more than just a cell phone and a good name and some charisma to really get it off the ground, not to start it. But, depending on what type of business you're going into, and to protect it as well, and to protect your success. So as you go through, make sure that you try to cover these bases and separate your personal and your business life as much as you can. Like I said, if I started to generate revenue or something hit, you never know when something's going to hit big. And with social media, you have no clue, and you don't want it to spiral out of control. And the next thing you know, if you have if you have some personal debt, you don't want it to bleed over in your LLC, or you don't want it to bleed it over into your business, and that's what the LLC will protect you from. So, I have bad credit, but if I start a business, I'm good. Like my bad credit, they can't come and take everything from my business. They might be able to hit me later on some other stuff. I haven't looked into it, but any money that I owe, the business separates that from money I generate. So at this point, it's generating no money. It's just in a promotional stage. But like I said, something can go viral instantly with business, and something can catch on. You might have a better idea than me. You might provide a better service. You might buy a lawnmower for $100 or $20 and start cutting grass and knocking it down with a lawnmower and a weed eater. My suggestion is to legitimize your business. If you're going to take it with an approach, don't do it half-heartedly. Be competitive and give your customers your best, give your competitors your best, in cooperation and in competition. And if you work in collaboration with someone, offer them their best, and don't trash talk. That's my biggest thing. Don't trash talk about other business. I got things that up until this point, I was all about that. At this point, I've let it inspire me, and I'm not going to say anything bad on record on the bit as far as Smoker Joe production goes. On a personal level, I'm like, damn, but if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Cross promote. Don't go bashing people. Don't go giving bad reviews, or don't go around bashing certain names, because you can really put yourself in a strong liability. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all about people or businesses. So when you're wearing your business hat and you got your business cap on, make sure you're on point. When you take it down and you're at home, you're free to do whatever you want, and that's what LLC will protect you from, that limited liability company, and that's where attorneys come in. So attorney, cell phone, and creating capital. So right now I'm going into a stage. I've got a couple appointments with a couple of different people. I got 3 so far for sure, people that I can go